bueno. Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for July 28th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with the emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, will you call our next case, please?
Cause number 2019-0D05117, State of Texas versus Michael Esparza Alvarez. Announcement of counsel, please.
Samantha Rock on behalf of the state. State's ready, Your Honor.
Alyssa Sarah for Mr. Esparza Alvarez. We're ready.
And is that him on the iPhone?
Yes,
Is
Judge.
that why he's here? Mr. Alvarez, can you hear us okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I won't ask you to mute because sometimes when you're on cell phones, it's hard to mess with the controls. If you can mute without getting cut off, please do that for now. But we'll go ahead and get started. What page is it on? Oh, I got it. Number 6.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Probation status hearing. Is this a follow-up review on Mr. Alvarez? Maybe some previous requests, Ms. Sarah?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Can you get me up to speed on that, please, while I look up his case?
Sure, Judge. Previously, Mr. Alvarez had some skips and so a few violations, and Your Honor sentenced him to 30 days work release, not a cop, but just in addition to. And then since then, he has been doing what he needs to do, to my knowledge, working on his fines and fees. He has 16 hours of community service left, according to my records. And so this is just a follow-up. Your Honor wanted to check and see if he was doing okay.
Beautiful. How are you doing, Mr. Alvarez?
Pretty good. Tired, dehydrated a little bit.
Are you working outside or what?
Yes, ma'am. I work outside. I'm always under the sun.
Okay, let me just go through the report really quickly. Negative. We have some financials. What are his probation fees at?
Good morning, Your Honor. They're at $60.
Okay. July 8th, a financial assessment was requested. No issues or concerns going on right now. Was the financial assessment completed?
Your Honor, I tried to reach out to the probation officer this morning and she didn't get back to me because I did see that notation as well. I'm assuming she's probably still going to work on it so that we, if there's enough, we would submit it for modifications to reduce them as per the last hearing back in April, Judge.
Sure. Mr. Alvarez, how much do you work? Are you full-time, 40 hours a week, more than 40 hours?
It's 40 hours a week, ma'am, but since I literally work outside, it depends a lot on the weather. And like this whole week, you know how it's been patchy raining and here and there. So it hasn't really been letting us work.
Okay. So what probation is in the process of doing, I'm not really sure where they are with that, is doing a financial assessment on you. And if it's determined through that assessment that there is some type of financial hardship, I'll go ahead and reduce fees to $25 a month. Are you having any trouble financially?
Well, at the moment, yes, I am, ma'am, because I'm just trying to catch up also on my house bills because like those 30 days I did in jail kind of like backed me up. So I'm just trying to catch up because they're trying to disconnect my gas and water.
And so he's made some payment to fees. He has not. Oh, and he got credit for fine and court costs. Well, you know, it sounds like we've already had that concern. So Carla, I'm not going to wait for the assessment. We'll just go ahead and reduce his fees. Mr. Alvarez, we had so many issues with you on the monitor, and I'm not seeing any of that right now. Basically, what I'm seeing from this probation summary is that you're on track. And so I know probation is inconvenient, but it is a responsibility and a priority for you. I'm going to go ahead and reduce your fees to $25 retroactive to the date you were placed on probation. So that might help out a little bit there. But Carla, unless probation is recommending that we come back, I'm not seeing that here. He's for my purposes, he's gotten on track. And so I don't need to see him back unless you all have something else to report. Miss Sarah, was there something else that you all were requesting on his behalf?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so very much for the financial break. I know he needs it, so I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's always a concern. And Mr. Alvarez, if you stay on track, don't give me any issues on the monitor. You term, it doesn't seem, I mean, might seem long to you, but it seems like it's next year. You term it to be in January. No, January of 2024. Sorry, I'm skipping a year. So you've got a little bit of time. Carla, because we're not driving, right? That's not,
No,
Okay.
my dad's actually the one that picks me up and takes me home since I'm on the way to work and I'm on
Okay.
the way back home. He drops me off and picks me up.
okay. I don't want to have any issues there either. So let's just stay on track, okay? I don't want to have to see you back. Miss Sarah, thank you for your assistance. And Carla, thank you as well. Mr.
No.
Alvarez, you had a question?
Yes, ma'am. I need to go get surgery done on my mouth and I need permission to go to Juarez. Is there any way I could just ask you for the permission since we're already here?
Let me ask, Carla, was that what you were going to ask me about?
No, Your Honor, I was actually gonna ask about the MTR, if the state wanted to dismiss it or if it was.
When was it filed?
March 2022, March 21st is what I have. Yeah.
Yes, Judge, I somewhat remember that was going to get dismissed based on the 30 days that you gave him previously.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say yes on the dismissal. And for my, we still have over a year. So Mr. Alvarez, if you mess up, you can expect another process like the one we've been through. Don't mess up. In terms of the request to travel, you need to coordinate with your probation officer to give her the specifics. I guess, is it just a one-day thing?
Well, it's a one-day thing, but it's going to be a prolonged process because I have to get surgery in my gums.
So get with your probation officer and tell her as best as you can. I mean, maybe you don't have those dates, going for like the next 6 months, but I need to know specifics. So if your appointment is on a certain date, then you need to tell her. And I don't have a problem, Carla. He will have permission to go as long as he has proof of the treatment. So my appointment's on this day. I don't need to have a travel permit every time as long as he has provided those specific that specific information. And then usually they have you check in after you come back, something like that. As long as you're in compliance, you're good to go. But you need to give those specifics to your probation officer. When's your appointment? When's your first appointment?
Well, I haven't filed the appointment, ma'am, because she also said I need to give her specifics, and she said that we had to speak to you, and so I was just waiting to speak to you so I could get the okay, and so I could give her the info and everything.
Give her the details for anything that you are requesting for travel. Go through your probation officer. Give her the details. They route it to me. I look at it and I send it back. Okay.
You got it. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
If there's nothing further, then we're adjourned on this case. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor, I don't. May I be excused?
You may. Have a good day. Thank you for your.
Thank you. You too. It's good to see you, Judge.
Bye. Who's
Bye-bye.
next?
Be safe. Hang up now.
In cause number 2016-0D02484, State of Texas versus Isaac Nathaniel Prado. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Is there someone here? I know I show an attorney, but sometimes they're not. Is Mr. Underwood's office still representing you, Mr. Prado?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's just a leftover. Okay, so Mr. Isaac Prado is appearing remotely. We're set for a pre-revocation hearing. We should have an attorney on this one. Pre-revo. Give me 1 second. Let me look at the review, the case summary. Okay, so this is one where primarily we were looking at restitution. Is that right? Did we lose Carla?
Yes, Judge.
Oh, no, there you are. Okay. You moved to the top. I was looking for you at the bottom. Sorry. So restitution.
Your Honor, if I may, my understanding on this case was, so Mr. Prado is set to expire or terminate September 4th of this year. And we had been coming just to make sure he was in compliance. I know he has, I think, well, according to the report I have, is he only has 9.5 hours left out of the 80. The probation, I'm sorry, the restitution was paid. So that was taken care of. Probation fees were waived. Financial, everything else is ready to go. It's just those hours, but we were just pending to make sure he was in the right track before the MTR was dismissed.
Okay, there's really nothing on this case summary that tells me we shouldn't have that motion dismissed. And he terms in 3 months.
September 4th, Judge.
How are you doing, Mr. Prado?
I'm doing good, ma'am. I'm working. I actually finished my hours earlier this month. I actually finished all my hours. And I was trying to contact Alfredo to let him know that I finished my hours as well.
Okay. So, anything else, Carla, on this one?
I don't see nothing else, Judge. I think the restitution had been the main concern, but that was taken care of. I know Ms. Myrna Hernandez had reached out to me just inquiring because I know Mr. Brado's mother had been calling or contacting the court. But that was my understanding from the last previous hearings. We were just waiting to dismiss the MTR closer to September just to make sure he was doing what he was supposed to. And if Mr. Prado claims his hours are completed, he needs to get with Mr. Sanchez because the system still shows 9.5 hours. So I'm not sure if he maybe just completed them in the past couple of days and they're not updated.
So my instruction is going to be this, Mr. Prado, do that, get with Mr. Sanchez and provide the proof. For me, I'm really quite done with Mr. Prado's case. So if Mr. Sanchez can confirm the community service hours, let's just terminate his probation. Not going to do that though until I get the word from probation. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that should be some motivation. I know it's just a few months, but honestly, I don't always get reports that are, folks that have done everything. So you can get the benefit of that as long as you get that squared away with your probation officer. So you might want to notate for Mr. Sanchez, Carla, that as soon as we confirm the probation hours, the community service hours, let's just cut him loose.
So okay, Judge, I'm sorry, just for clarification, the motion to adjudicate will be dismissed. And if we get confirmation, Mr. Sanchez can submit an early dismissal before the date. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so get on it, Mr. Prado.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
not, then we'll just wait until September. Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Bottom of page 6, Judge, in cause number 2021 0D0 1785, State of Texas versus Benjamin Contreras. Announcement of council, please.
Samantha Brock on behalf of the state. Seats ready, Your Honor.
Michelle Valverde for adult probation.
And I think Mr. Contreras is just connecting right now. Okay, Mr. Contreras is appearing remotely. Looks like he's connected to audio. We're here for an admonishment. I was just also pulling up the case summary. Ms. Valverde, you want to give me the gist of what's going on with Mr. Contreras?
Mr. Benjamin Contreras was placed on probation on the 8th of March. We have had difficulty trying to contact him to do the intake, to go over his conditions of probation, to provide referrals. The counselor for the drug and alcohol counseling also had difficult time contacting him. It was determined there was no treatment recommendation, but he did fail to report for May, June, and when he did contact the officer this month on the 8th, the violation notice was already submitted, Your Honor. A home visit was conducted on the 30th of June, We left a business card and asking Mr. Contreras to call us immediately, and that was not done. So it's been very difficult for us to go over his conditions of probation, Your Honor. He does not make himself available. And the warrant is active due to the VN.
So there's already a warrant out for you, Mr. Contreras, because probation is having so much trouble getting in contact with you. Myrna, let's go ahead and appoint the public defender's office.
Yes, ma'am.
I show that they're listed here. Maybe we can get someone to log in, either Myrna. Well, I'll just say Myrna. Maybe Myrna's available if we can get her to log in. I don't know what the issue is, but it was enough to get you to a bench warrant, Mr. Contreras. Let me go back and look at some of this. And so don't say anything because I'm going to appoint you an attorney. So what, okay, so he didn't report for intake, didn't report for orientation, for TAP, nothing. So let me, Ms. Valverde, so he pleads back in March and then just nothing? No activity?
No, Your Honor, the council did finally do the assessment on the 11th of May, so no treatment there. And he finally called us back on the 8th of July.
Yeah, doesn't bode very well. All right. Let me see if I can get the public defender's office to get here, and maybe we can put them in a breakout room. I know it's kind of fast, but there's a warrant out for you, Mr. Contreras. So let's take a quick break.